Collisions. We talked about the two cards are restricted on when you can play them, and they're actually dangerous to play. If you decide you want to try a leap or flying attack, which were these two cards that we showed earlier, you have to first move before you can leap or flying attack. If for some reason you collide with another opponent or a friendly player, you will lose your momentum and these actions might become invalid. Let me explain how that might work. If I was the orange ninja, let's say, and I've got the orange ninja and the blue ninja. Let's say the green location is the destination, so the blue ninja is moving one space sideways. The orange ninja is trying to move leaping 2 spaces forward. So the green location is where both ninjas would end up moving. Now, 2 players cannot occupy the same space, and the players move at the same time. So essentially, I would collide with the orange player when we tried to occupy that space, and I would bounce back to the location I came from because I was just moving. Now the orange ninja was leaping, so he wouldn't bounce all the way back to his starting location. He would bounce back to the last space he moved over, which is right here. After the collision, that would be our locations of where we're at. Now there's a couple things that does. If we try to play a move or flying attack, now that we've collided, they would become invalid. And it also puts us in a different location on the board than we expected to be. So our next actions that are locked in could cause problems for us. 2 weapons allow you to do leaps or flying attacks without having to worry about collisions. The bow staff. The bow staff has a really simple attack pattern, but it has a special ability called instant leap. That ability allows it to play a leap card at any time, regardless whether or not you've previously moved. So you can play unrestricted leaps. Now the pattern is limited and it's hard to hit with. A little more restricted in its pattern is the Nagamaki. The Nagamaki has only a 1 location pattern, but it gives you the ability to do instant flying attacks. So if that was my active weapon, I could play a flying attack card anytime I wish without having to first move. So I can constantly be moving and attacking. Now I will warn you that both the bow staff and the Nagamaki, because they have such narrow patterns, are a little hard to hit with and are normally used by experienced players. Players will start out the game with the block card oriented in one of the 8 directions. For our purposes, let's assume that's my block. There's the top of the card holder, and that's the block direction that I've assigned. Let's actually move the orange ninja so he's facing me. If I was the blue ninja and the orange ninja were attacking straight at me, the orange ninja would declare that he's hit me. He would ask me then whether or not I blocked the attack. I would take the time to check my card and look at my direction. Now if we look at this, and we wouldn't be showing it to the other player, my direction of block is not straight that way, so I did not block the orange ninja's attack. So I would not show the other player. I would just keep this hidden, take a look at it, and I would tell the other player, no, I did not block your attack. Now the orange ninja would score 5 points because he hit me. I would score -5 points because I failed to block his attack. So that's a 10-point difference in score. Let's change this situation and go through another scenario where I do block the ninja. Alright, starting the scenario now, let's say the orange ninja attacks me from that direction. He scores 5 points for hitting me. He asks me whether or not I block. I look at my block, I realize that I do block the attack, so I will lay that face down and I will show all players in the game that, yes, here's the proof, I blocked the attack. Now instead of losing the -5 points, I don't lose any. So he'll score 5 points for hitting me, I don't subtract any. So don't underestimate the power of a block. It keeps you from losing a lot of points. Now the other way to score is actually attacking next to another ninja. So let's pretend that we have 2 ninjas in the game. Let's say the orange ninja and this green chip represent 2 enemy ninjas that I'm fighting. If I had attacked, and we'll put a scenario up, the bow staff is my active weapon, which has a front-back attack pattern, and let's say that I'm attacking straight to my right. Now, the attack locations I can choose from are actually these red chips. Remember, the green chip's an enemy ninja. Now, if I choose this location behind me, it's not next to any ninjas. It doesn't score any points whatsoever. I can, however, choose the location that's directly in front of me, represented by the red chip. For every ninja that's next to that chip, I can score 1 point. So in this example, with 2 enemy ninjas next to the red chip, I would score 2 points. Now if I actually hit and let's say the green ninja was there and I actually hit the green ninja, you can't score both a hit and glancing at the same time. You just get the points for the hit. You don't score any additional glancing points. So that's how glancing works. And you find out that you'll get a lot of points, and certain weapons are better at glancing than others, and certain strategies will apply when you use different weapons. Alright, the last thing that I'd like to show you is how to set up the game for play. Unfortunately, you don't get all the cards that are listed here. All of your flying attacks, your moves, your blocks, these are the standard cards that control your ninja on the board you will get in your deck. So you'll get 2 blocks, 2 leaps, 2 moves, 2 flying attacks, 2 attacks, and that's your basic deck that controls your ninja for gameplay. All the cards that have a blue text at the top, and those are your 5 weapons that we covered, including the bow staff, and your 3 shuriken, will be collected. And you will have to decide which of these items you're going to use. Now here's how that decision works. Let me show you the symbols that are on the card. There are 3 symbols on the card, and 2 of them won't matter for basic play. The number of hands of the weapon only matters with the variants and advanced rules. The weapon type, which is represented by the star and a letter, was only used with advanced rules and in the variants. What we're concerned with for game setup is that octagon. You get 8 points worth of inventory. The katana has an octagon with a 4 in it, so it takes 4 points to use this item. So I'll go through all the items that I have. Now a shuriken is 1 point, the bow staff is 4, the nagamaki is 3, the nunchuck is 3, the Kausen ki is 2. I'll decide which 8 points worth of items I'm going to use. Whatever I don't use, I will remove from my hand and not use in this game at all. So I've selected my items quickly. Those get put in with my deck, and then I'll go through the setup phases. One of the first things we'll do is we'll place our starting weapon, and all players will do this at the same time. I'll place my starting weapon, I'm using the katana in this example, in my card holder and place it upside down for setup only. I will then find and locate a block card, and I will place a block card in the card holder in the direction I wish to block attacks. And I'll also place that upside down. Now, each ninja will start on one of the Senso symbols. So the orange ninja is starting on his Senso symbol. I'm starting on my Senso symbol. I've decided what direction I'm blocking attacks. I've decided my starting weapon. Before gameplay can continue, I have to decide what my first and second actions are going to be. So I will go ahead and place those into card holders. I place my first action. I place my second action. Once every player has locked in their cards, they've decided what their block is, they've decided what their starting weapon is, they've got their first and second actions defined, we will then reveal the starting weapon and show so that all players know what each ninja is using as a weapon. After that's been done, you can reveal the first action, resolve it. In this example, I moved. Let's say my combatant moved as well. We would pick that card up as we described earlier, put it back in our hand, slide this up, decide what we're going to do next, place it down, continue to reveal, resolve, score, slide up, and that's the way the game will play. Now you might want to know when the game ends. The game will end based on 3 methods. The first one is score. You can go to a certain negative or certain positive score. We personally don't feel that's the best way to play the game. We typically recommend playing a timed game. For new players, you might want to try quick little 10-minute games. Try out a couple different weapons, play a 10-minute game, try out some other weapons, another 10-minute game, till you get the feel for the game. Typically, when we play games, they're 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So a 15 or 20-minute game works out pretty good. You have enough time to move around the board and kind of outthink your opponent. The other way that we'll play is we'll count the actions revealed. So every time we reveal an action, we'll just keep track of that like a tick mark. After 20, 25, whatever number you determine of actions have been revealed, the game ends. Whoever has the highest score wins, and that could be tied. You'll find that as you play the game, it'll take about a minute for each action. So about every minute you'll probably be revealing an action. And the more experience you get, the less time that'll be. So that'll start to reduce as you get experience with the game. That is how to play Senso Ninja Combat